What if I told you that the life you are living right now is only one among countless versions of yourself? What if the path not taken is being lived out in another reality, and you could access the wisdom of that other you right now in this very moment? Though it sounds like something from the realm of science fiction, this concept finds its roots in a more philosophical framework, one that may hold the key to understanding not just our universe, but ourselves. David Lewis, a 20th century philosopher, made waves in the intellectual community by proposing a theory that bordered on radical, yet also shed light on the intricate nature of existence: modal realism. According to Lewis, every possible version of our world exists in some form, including alternate versions of you and me. His theory challenges conventional perceptions of reality and invites us to ponder the possibility of an infinite number of parallel worlds. And while Lewis's work is rooted in logic and philosophy, its implications transcend academia, offering insights into how we can navigate our lives and even connect with alternate versions of ourselves. In this video, we'll explore Lewis's theory of modal realism as a foundation for understanding parallel dimensions, while considering how the notion of alternate realities can impact our lives. David Lewis's theory of modal realism may seem outlandish at first glance. To claim that every conceivable world, including one where you chose a different career, never met your current partner, or even where unicorns exist, is a mind-bending notion. Yet, his argument rests on a surprisingly simple idea: that possibilities are just as real as actualities. For Lewis, the distinction between what could be and what is doesn't hold water. Every alternate scenario, in his view, unfolds in a fully realized world just as real as ours, even if we cannot access it through ordinary means. Lewis wasn't talking about abstract, hypothetical situations, but actual worlds existing in parallel to our own, containing other versions of ourselves, living out different choices. It's a radical shift in thinking, where traditional philosophy relegates possibilities to the realm of thought experiments. Lewis argued that these alternate worlds are just as concrete as the one we experience daily. While Lewis's theory was largely a thought experiment within academic philosophy, it opened a tantalizing question. If these worlds exist, is it possible to tap into them? Can your alternate self send you clues, messages, or warnings? Lewis himself might not have ventured into such metaphysical territory, but modern interpretations allow us to explore the idea further. Building on Lewis's theory, we can begin to ask how our consciousness interacts with these alternate realities. Though Lewis framed his argument in logical and formal terms, he hinted at something deeper, a connection between these worlds that may go beyond mere theoretical postulation. Take, for instance, the phenomenon of intuition. You've likely had moments where you just knew something without a rational explanation, as if the answer appeared from nowhere. From Lewis's perspective, what if that intuition wasn't some mystical force, but rather the mind reaching across dimensions? Could your alternate self, who has already faced a similar challenge or made a similar decision, be influencing your thoughts, nudging you toward a better outcome? When we follow this line of thinking, intuition becomes not just a gut feeling, but a form of interdimensional communication. Your parallel self might already have the knowledge or experience you need, and through the thin veil separating these worlds, you can access it in flashes of insight. Philosophers have long wrestled with the nature of knowledge and consciousness, and in light of Lewis's modal realism, intuition could represent a bridge between realities. Déjà vu, that strange, uncanny feeling of having lived a moment before, is another phenomenon that might be explained through the lens of parallel worlds. Traditional explanations for déjà vu range from neurological misfires to subconscious memories bubbling up, but Lewis's theory offers an alternative. What if, in those moments of déjà vu, we are momentarily experiencing an overlap between parallel dimensions? Think about it. Déjà vu often feels like more than a mere trick of the mind. It's as though you've stepped into a scene that has already played out, even though you can't pinpoint when or where. Lewis's modal realism suggests that this could be because, in another version of your life, that exact moment has already happened. Your other self has already lived this situation, and for a brief instant, the two versions of you converge, sharing the same experience. From this perspective, déjà vu is a signpost, a clue that your other self is near. It's not just a quirky brain anomaly, but a hint that in some alternate world, you've already navigated this choice, this conversation, this fleeting moment. What can you learn from it? If déjà vu serves as a peek into your alternate self's life, then perhaps it's a reminder that every moment contains countless possibilities, each playing out in another reality. Now consider the role of dreams, often dismissed as random firings of the brain during sleep. Could they instead be windows into parallel realities? While Lewis's philosophy didn't delve into dreams per se, modern thinkers who build on his ideas, like the philosopher Henry Bergson, suggest that our dream states may offer glimpses into these other worlds. Bergson argued that time is not a linear progression, but a fluid, multidimensional experience, which aligns with the idea that dreams can transcend the boundaries of our waking lives. When we dream, especially when we experience lucid dreams, are we not, in some sense, free from the constraints of time and space? Could we be visiting a version of ourselves, living out a different life, making different choices? Philosophically, dreams challenge our understanding of reality, and Lewis's modal realism provides a structure for interpreting them. In a dream, you might find yourself in a strange situation, one that doesn't quite fit with your waking life, but feels real nonetheless. Maybe it's because, in another dimension, it is real. Researchers have long speculated that the dream state offers access to hidden parts of our consciousness. When combined with the idea of parallel dimensions, dreams take on a new significance. They may be portals, however fleeting, into the lives of our parallel selves. Another fascinating phenomenon often associated with otherworldly messages is the appearance of repeating numbers. 111, 333, or 444, for example. Numerology aside, these patterns seem to suggest that the universe is speaking directly to us. Could Lewis's theory of infinite possible worlds explain this too? What if these numbers are markers, not random occurrences, but signs that our other selves are trying to communicate? From a Lewisian perspective, if countless versions of reality exist, then in some worlds, you have already figured out the answers to your biggest challenges. The numbers might be a subtle reminder urging you to tune in, to align with the wisdom that exists within these alternate selves. This isn't magic or mysticism. Under the framework of modal realism, it's simply the structure of reality itself, communicating across dimensions. Patterns in your life, whether in numbers, symbols, or events, could be the mind's way of syncing with its counterparts in other worlds. After all, if the mind is not bound by space and time, then it stands to reason that these patterns could be whispers from your alternate self, guiding you through this version of your life. One of the most intriguing applications of Lewis's modal realism comes when we face major challenges or life-altering decisions. In moments of crisis, we often feel stuck, unsure of which path to take. What if, in another dimension, your alternate self has already navigated this very scenario? What if the universe is offering you a way out by tapping into that parallel experience? Think of the toughest choices you've had to make. The times when you stood at a crossroads, unsure of which direction would lead to happiness, success, or fulfillment. From a modal realism standpoint, you don't need to make these decisions blindly. Your other self, who has already lived out one possible outcome, can provide clues and guidance. When you feel a sudden pull toward one option or another, it might not be random. It could be your other self influencing your intuition, helping you choose a path that aligns with your highest good. Challenges, then, are not just obstacles. They are opportunities to access the wisdom of your parallel selves, to draw from the experience of lives that you haven't lived, yet are just as real as the one you're living now. So, what does this mean for us today? David Lewis's modal realism offers more than just an academic puzzle. It provides a framework for understanding the boundless nature of existence. Every choice you make, every possibility you contemplate, exists in some parallel world. You are not limited to the life you see before you. In fact, you are connected to an infinite number of lives, each one offering unique experiences, insights, and wisdom. Lewis's philosophy reminds us that reality is not singular or fixed. It is a dynamic, ever-shifting web of possibilities, with you at its center. So the next time you feel a spark of intuition, experience déjà vu, or dream of a life that feels distant yet familiar, consider this. Perhaps it's not just your imagination. Perhaps your other self, living in another dimension, is reaching out, offering a hand, guiding you toward a future where all your choices align in perfect harmony.